Selamat kembali ke podcast TTYL Talk to you later bersama saya Nel Hanan
dan saya Zul Tirta-Perpuluhan Zamir,
dan kita bersama dengan pelakon-pelakon teater Seoul Garden.
Pelakon first time.
Kenalkan diri.
Hello everyone, saya Mirnesh dan selalunya orang introduce me as penyanyi, but first time orang introduce as pelakon, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you Nel.
Saya Wahida.
Hai, saya Lina. Saya penonton dan pendengar sebenarnya, tapi hari ni terbalik. I don't know why. Tanya pengarah.
Kalau siapa pernah tengok mini series Goodnight Isabella, TTYL punya vertical drama, Lina ada buat kemunculan. Sekarang dah upgrade
Ya, daripada T20 relationship coach, I become something else.
So actually hari ni kita nak cerita hantu. Sebab cerita hantu ni macam highly requested sangat kan. So tapi before
siapa
kita
yang request cerita hantu ni?
Macam dia sendiri.
Kami.
I request.
Kami request.
Nampak ni fans. Orang request kat I lah. Sebab I kan ada branding cerita hantu. So transition
50% off.
Okay.
Apa tu?
Tak, transition supaya I tahu.
La ilaha, aku ingat apa benda dia buat.
Supaya aku tahu ni potong. Bos malu lah edit sendiri. Okay,
jom.
by the way.
So macam tu, cepat. Mari sama-sama.
Kan. Tibalah masa yang ditunggu-tunggu. Kita akan dengar pengalaman seram dari setiap seorang. Aku rasa pengalaman seram aku dekat YouTube ni dah banyak postage dia. So better kita dengar daripada orang lain dulu. Okay, siapa nak start? Angkat tangan.
Saya nak start dulu.
Right.
Tak apa, orang lain start dulu lah.
Amalah, now I'm curious. You ada? Wah.
Apa dia? Taklah, cerita tak nampak Okay.
Tak nampak.
Tak apa lah, kita start lah. Let's get the ball rolling. So, cerita joket-joket. Kita cut lah. Okay. Jadi, pada satu tahun dulu, masa tahun dalam 2012 lah, ada satu time ni aku pergi buat show dekat Johor. Masa tu dengan Nel actually.
Ada festival
ada festival art, actually art festival lah.
Festival. Yeah.
Jadi masa pergi art festival tu kita sewa satu Airbnb lah.
Production kita lah sewakan.
Siapa nak cerita?
Lah, nanti kan orang salah faham. Macam time tu kan belum kahwin.
Yelah, bukanlah. Okay. Anyway, so masa time tu aku memang ada satu perangai bila aku pergi tempat baru, sebab yalah dalam banyak kehidupan ni aku banyak berjalan, banyak travel. Jadi tiap kali pergi tempat baru aku suka merayau tau. Pergi macam contohlah, especially kalau macam pergi yalah kalau ada kat Airbnb kondo ke, pergi tengok check out dia punya spool, dia punya taman mainan, whatever, tapi just nak berjalan lah, berjalan dan nak merayau just seronok nak discover, dan rasanya memang ada keinginan untuk mencari dan discover. Tapi masa stay dekat Johor ni, ada satu time aku nak pergi merayau malam tu, keluar-keluar kan. Lepas tu masa tu baru lepas dinner kot. Lepas tu tiba-tiba Nel dia cakap kat aku macam masa tu tak panggil sayang lah, panggil macam Zul, nak ikut boleh? Aduh, nak ikut lah ni, leceh lah tapi tak apa lah, macam kalau kau nak ikut jangan bising-bising lah. Okay, boleh diam-diam. Aku nak pergi ni, aku nak pergi lepak-lepak je. Dia pun dia setuju dengan kita punya term. Tak apa lah, kita follow. Jadi lepas tu kita orang pun turun. So this tempat Airbnb ni macam cantik lah. Swimming pool dia besar. It's a condominium yang macam mana?
Ni kat JB kat center.
No, it's macam dekat belah-belah Iskandar Puteri, Medini gitu lah. So ni tempat tu rasanya mungkin banyak orang sewa ataupun tak tahu lah Singaporean beli. Unit dia banyak dan cantik, tapi penghuni dia tak ramai. Memang kosong lah, banyak kosong lah. Tapi bila kosong lah seronok. Bila kosong tak ada orang nak stop kan, kita nak merayau. Okay lah, tak apa, pergi merayau. Jalan, sampailah dekat tepi swimming pool. Swimming pool dia besar kan, saiz Olimpik, panjang kan, sayup mata memandang.
You mean lap pool?
Lap pool lah.
Lap pool. Memang besar. Lepas tu tiba-tiba dekat atas lap pool tu pula ada macam gym dia overlooking, boleh macam gym kat atas tu, betul tengok orang kat swimming pool. Kira macam wah cantik, nice lah. Tiba-tiba kat sebelah tu ada satu macam playground kecil. Kan? Okeylah, pergi playground lah. Kan? Aku tak ada kerja kan. Betul ada orang sibuk dan ikut. Kau nak ikut kan? Kau ikut je lah aku kan. Tak apa, pergi ikut. Jalan. Lepas tu ada satu seesaw tau, jongkit. So aku pun macam yelah, tak ada kerja kan, mainlah buayan, main apa benda ni. Last kali pergi dekat seesaw ni, joget-joget. Naiklah joget-joget ni.
Wait, I'm sorry, I have to ask. Bila main buayan tu macam seorang-seorang main sendiri ke ataupun seorang tolak seorang, seorang tolak seorang?
Tak ada sendiri tak.
Yeah.
Sebab masa tu we're not together. Kita
Kawan-kawan.
kita kawan je,
Lepas tu bila main buai kan mesti ada tuang-tuang.
Tak puasa.
masa tu macam kau kenapa nak ikut dah lah, sibuk tu nak tolak pula kan.
Tolak.
Anyway, so lepas tu naiklah joget-joget. Bila naik joget-joget kan bunyi kan. Aku senang terhibur. Aku terhibur sendirilah main.
You main seorang?
Main seorang.
Bukan dia.
Tak. Dia tak main. Dia berdiri kat tepi je.
Tengok je lah.
Dia ikut. Sebab dia ikut kan. Lepas tu
Tak ikut tapi buat hal sendirilah.
Bukan tengok dan judge dia.
Tak
Tak ada. Okay.
kenapa kau ajar aku?
Sampai seseorang. Lepas tu tambah budak belakang macam
Lisa
ada
dia
orang.
person dia.
Dan kenapa you nak ikut in the first place?
Sebab
Ambil angin.
Jalan-jalan. Sebab we are cooped inside the house for too long. And then masa tu ada ramai. So I ni actually introvert spectrum I tinggi tau. Kalau banding dengan ni. So I macam okay, I need to get off dekat ni kan. Too much human interaction today.
Faham.
Anyway, this is my story. So let me continue.
Sorry.
They can help it if they are interested in me.
Okay, so
Wow.
seesaw joget-joget main seorang-seorang.
So
Sian.
tengah main seesaw ni. Dia pergi kat tepi. Jomlah balik. Aduh, aku dah macam kau kenapa? Jomlah balik. Dia nangis. Dia macam apa nak buat, kita sebagai abang jantan ni tengok macam perempuan wanita menangis macam aduh, kau ni kacau mood aku. Tapi tak apalah, jom balik. Naiklah atas, jalan-jalan naik atas kan. Lepas tu macam okay, tenangkanlah. Bukan tenangkanlah, macam okay, tak apa, biar kau tenangkan diri kau sendiri. Okay, aku tak tanya apa-apa soalan ni kan. Sampailah, bila dah sampai kat atas, masa tu adalah lagi ada 2-3 orang kat sana. Lepas tu tanya macam, so apa kau tiba-tiba nangis?
Tak ada.
Kat sini tak ada.
I didn't cry like that. I didn't cry like
You
that.
cry macam mana?
Gracefully.
Very demure.
Kau bercanda je. So betul nangis. Macam apa hal kau nangis? Tadi aku nampak ada orang tengah main joget-joget dengan kau. Aku macam, the hell, apa benda ni pula kan? Dia nampak ada satu budak lebam, mungkin dalam 6-7 tahun gitu.
4-5 tahun.
4-5 tahun.
Semula.
Lagi kecil.
Lagi kecil.
4-5 tahun.
Aku tengah main joget-joget kan. Budak tu kat ujung tu tengah main aku.
Okay, sekejap. Tiba asal bila rumah aku naik. Okay, betul.
So lepas tu macam bila dah dengar cerita tu ni macam aduh, tu sebab aku tak nak ajak kau pergi.
Which means kalau tak tahu tak apalah, tak kisah minum. Kau nak at least dia teman, tak apa, dia teman main seorang-seorang kan, kesian main seorang.
So lepas tu esoknya macam okey lah, malam ni tak apalah, dah habis cerita kan, okey lah, settle. So malam esok bila nak keluar, nak berjalan, dah pergi bawah balik kan. Pergi bawah balik dah start rasa macam budak ni dekat sini kan. Aduh.
Dah spoil feeling tu.
Dah spoil the feeling.
Wait, dia lebam, dia pakai baju.
Dah habis lah. I boleh sambung. Kan cerita tu tak habis kat situ.
Yelah,
kan?
sambung lah. Ni cerita you juga kan.
Okay.
Oh.
So actually
tu pedih sebenarnya.
So tomorrownya, sebab situ kan tak ramai orang. Dia macam ada season yang orang datang kat situ. So waktu kita orang datang tu sebab we are production kan. So ramai lah waktu tu. So barulah ada guard-guard jaga semua. So I actually talk to, I tak ingat guard ke janitor, one of the ni lah. Sebab actually overlooking the gym and the pool tu, yang the gym and actually ada library juga. So I went to the library. So library dia banyak buku yang best-best. So So I jumpa this guard ke janitor. And then I tanyalah macam, you know, what's the history of this place? Bila peak season, apa benda semua. Ramai ke orang mandi kat sini? Sebab mandi tak ada lifeguard. So dia cakap, kat sini tak ada lifeguard. Tapi itulah, sekarang ni kita memang kalau budak-budak nak mandi, kita suruh parents teman. Sebab dulu ada kes budak lemas. Lepas tu tanyalah, budak lemas tu lelaki ke perempuan? Lelaki. Umur dalam 4-5 years old. Aku macam okay. So I sort of like connect the dot lah. Is it like the jelmaan or whatever? I I saw kan. Sebab memang dia lebam yang macam, you know, badan pun macam dah biru semua macam tu kan.
Macam Ju-on ni budak.
Macam Ju-on.
Betul Kak Wak.
Yes.
Saya masa dengar benda tu macam aduh. Memang bentuk itu yang terbayang.
So dia kata memang ada budak pernah lemas kat situ, but of course lah it's a case yang hush-hush lah. Sebab benda-benda macam ni memang tak nak didedahkan lah, sebab nanti kan orang tak nak datang kan.
Nanti orang tak nak beli pula property tu.
Betul.
Kan?
So itulah kejadiannya.
I have questions. Like, you are known to as like someone yang boleh nampak kan. So when you see them, do they notice that?
Yes, most of the time they notice.
You see them.
And then sometimes when you pretend like you didn't see them, dia lagi nak obviouskan diri dia dekat you.
So what will you do?
So that's why because like this ability has been with me like since I kecil. So somehow over the years I have to learn how to control it. You know, I dah pergi, I mean the Islamic way, the Western way, the psychological way. So I banyak masukan, I banyak pergi macam how do I control this? And then so one of the psychologists I met during my uni, dia yang cakap macam, you know, the mind is a very powerful thing. So there's this thing called law of belief. So actually what you believe tu, itulah yang termanifest. Kalau you believe, that's why macam, you know, Asian ghost, hantu-hantu yang kita nampak selalunya apa?
How you imagine?
Pontianak, pocong, because that's like the image that always been portrayed to us. Tapi that's the thing, because Nusantara kita percaya hantu-hantu ni macam ni. So sometimes kan, sebab nobody knows jin ni, hantu ni basically syaitan, jin lah. Basically it's a jin lah. Nobody knows rupa dia macam mana sebenarnya. Tapi our brain dah bentukkan dia untuk nampak macam tu. So itu juga kuasa minda kita untuk nyahkan benda tu, deactivate. So that's why my defense mechanism always, kalau I nampak, tak nak fikir, I nak dia belah, I akan tengok video kucing, tengok video kelakar. So I always keep like cat videos inside my phone. And cat videos tu bukan random video, my cat.
Okay.
Yang I find funny, yang my mom ambil benda semua kan. So I always have in my phone. And itulah I kena cepat-cepat like divert my mind, jangan fikir benda tu. Baru dia hilang. So that's my way lah. Each orang lain ada pelbagai cara. Tapi that's my way lah. Because I'm actually a very logical and science person. Tapi that's the thing, this kind of ability you cannot choose kan. Sometimes you just like born with it, and then you question why I have this. But somehow you have to make peace and find ways to deal with it lah.
Okay. Saya sudah. Anda bila lagi?
Okay. Mir pula.
Okay. Just for your information, kita tengah cerita ni sekarang pukul 12 tepat.
Yes. I dah cakap tidur rumah aku je, nak juga balik.
Kat bawah tu okay tak parking I?
Dah call.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, it's my turn. Okay. So I have experienced scary stuff myself, tapi I tak pernah nampak. But this is the scariest experience that I've had in my life. So few years back, I ada shoot dengan, boleh cakap RTM ke?
Boleh. Kalau tak ni nanti I bleep kan.
Okay. So
boleh cakap.
So a few years ago, I ada satu shoot ni, this program called Dua Dunia dengan RTM. So I'm one of the hosts. Ada dua hosts, dengan Nazmi Adwa. So this program is about us as city boy pergi ke kampung-kampung dan experience their lifestyle. Contohnya tangkap ikan, tangkap ketam, tanam padi, things like that. So to me, it's like, masa tu I question a lot, kenapa I take on this job? Because it's very tough. And then kita macam pergi the whole Malaysia, like Sabah, Sarawak, almost every negeri in Malaysia.
And the budget was tight, right?
Yeah. So travelling wasn't easy. Maksudnya hari ni shoot habis, malam ni juga kena pergi negeri lain.
Penat tu.
And then esok tidur sekejap dah kena bangun shoot. So it's very penat. So macam Nia cakap tadi, budget very tight. That's why we were assigned to tidur dekat hotel-hotel yang agak budget jugalah.
Tell me about it.
Rumah tumpangan. Kau.
Budget lah.
Budget hotel. So I memang dah my former label masa tu dah assign I seorang PA to follow I pergi the shoot, because it's going to be tough. Like I need somebody with me. Plus I need my PA to take videos apa semua kan, BTS. So every episode of kita punya program ni is like, contoh kalau episode ni I tangkap ikan, our reward as a host adalah dapat masak ikan tu, and that's the meal of the day. So kalau dapat tangkap ketam, makan ketam. Macam tu.
Can you cook though?
No lah, we actually tak cook lah. Ni fake
Oh,
punya. Like they cook for us lah.
Tapi kalau kau tak dapat tangkap apa?
Pretend lah.
Oh, dia punya konsep lah.
Konsep dia macam
Padahal malam tu kau melantak tom yum kan.
memasak apa yang host tangkap lah.
Apa yang kita dapat tangkap macam tu.
Okay.
There's this one episode dekat Negeri Sembilan. I remember kita pergi dekat sawah padi, and we have to, bukan tanam padi, but we have to tangkap ikan dekat dalam sawah padi tu.
Oh, ikan sepat.
I tak ingat nama dia apa, but ikan
sepat.
sepat. Dia macam ada kuning orange sikit, macam tu. Yang kecil je. Dia macam piranha sikit.
Piranha.
Kita pakai kasut yang macam puan cukang tu.
Benda yellow.
Lepas tu masuk dekat dalam and have to tangkap bare hands.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a challenge. And I paling...
Asal? Oh my god.
I cannot. I geli.
I
pun geli.
Kalau lintah pacat lah.
Yeah.
Tangkap keluar kecil.
And you cannot see anything.
And
apa?
ikan tu ganas tau. Actually.
Yeah.
Alah, bukan ikan tu boleh macam kau nak gaduh dengan aku. Anyway, teruskan.
So geli lah. Geli. But at the end of the day dapat tangkap juga, and then dapat makan and balik hotel. Okay, so this hotel is called Hotel Jetty something. I remember. So hotel ni dia nampak decent tau. Walaupun dia macam hotel rumah kedai, tapi dia macam lengkap dengan segala yang patut dilengkapkan lah. So bila I masuk, bila I sampai hotel, the crew and every director semua cakap, jom kita pergi makan. So me and the co-host macam cakap, we are very tired, esok kena bangun pukul 7 pagi. So I think tadi pun last scene kita dah makan, so kita stay je lah kat hotel. So my PA cakap, so you're not going, and then I go with the crew lah. So I cakap, yeah, you just go with the crew, but jangan balik lambat sangat because keycard ada satu je. Which kalau dia balik pukul 1, pukul 2, I have to wake up again to open the door for him. Yes. Walaupun I dah tidur.
Cannot ask for extra card?
Apparently cannot. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So my PA jawab I macam ni. I hope he sees this. Dia cakap, it's not up to me, it's up to the crew. Dia orang nak lepak sampai pukul berapa, it's not up to me.
Damn.
So time tu dalam hati macam sabar.
PA ni kau pilih ke label pilih?
Macam freelance lah. It's not under the label, macam freelance sama dia.
Faham.
Okay.
And it's first time booking.
Marah.
Yeah. So I pun masuk dalam hotel, freshen up, pasang lagu because I bawa speaker. So I macam just very vibe apa semua. And then I tidur, I memang kena completely gelap.
You're that kind of person. You're like Zul.
Kalau lampu aircon yang setitik tu pun I tak boleh.
Lampu kowe
Tak boleh. I memang kena completely. I tak nampak dari I semua.
Tak nafas.
Kalau tak I cannot sleep. I just macam tu. So I tutup semua lampu semua. Macam biasa I tidur. And it was a king size bed. So I had to share with my PA. So I tengok jam pukul 12, pukul 12 lebih, pukul 1, dan pukul 1 tak balik lagi. So I just macam tidur lah. I tidur. Tiba-tiba I dengar pintu buka.
Immersing kan.
Buka. Tapi I masih lagi dalam separuh sedar macam tu, macam half asleep. So I dengar ada footstep orang masuk daripada pintu tu. And directly naik atas katil and baring sebelah I.
You feel it. You felt.
I can hear, I can sense and everything. Walaupun I pejam mata. And then siapa lagi masa tu fikiran I macam okay, maybe it's just my PA lah. Siapa lagi kan. So dia baring kat sebelah I, and dia pun tak ada common sense.
Dia tak ada common sense.
I have to wake up at 7 AM.
Yeah, man.
Tiba-tiba dia buka TikTok full volume. Sebelah I.
Okay. Hilang seram.
Dia belum seram lagi.
Belum lagi.
Tahan.
So dia buka full volume. I was like frustrated because hey, I'm trying to sleep here, you know. I have a early call time tomorrow. Yeah. So I pun cakap elok, I cakap boleh tak slowkan sikit, I'm trying to sleep. And then dia pun macam okay, slow down. And then dia bukan slow down je, dia bukan full volume je, dia full brightness.
Oh my god.
So the room is like quite bright kat sebelah I ni. Kan I tak boleh tidur kalau tak gelap. So I suruh dia tutupkan volume sikit, tapi eventually dia macam just tutup the whole phone and decided to sleep. Tak sampai 5 minit, tiba-tiba dia jerit kuat gila, macam kena cekik. Macam tu. Tapi suara dia tak keluar, dia macam macam nak muntah tapi tak boleh muntah
someone
macam
choking.
tu. But at the same time movement dia adalah dia tarik semua selimut-selimut semua dah terbang sampai ke lantai and everything.
Okay.
And I was like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
Sebab I rabun, so I tak nampak apa-apa and my phone dekat sebelah meja sebelah apa semua. So the first thing I did was run to the switch dekat sebelah pintu main door tu. I buka lampu. And then with my blurry vision, I nampak dia tengah duduk and just pandang depan and dia macam macam penat. Macam baru habis lari 10 km. So I tanya dia, kenapa? Kenapa ni? Kenapa? Dia macam dan tak jawab I anything.
Oh, it was memang dia.
Huh?
Tak betul go.
Yeah. So I quickly macam go and take my phone because I didn't know who else to call. But I know sebelah bilik I adalah co-host punya bilik and I can hear the TV masih lagi tengah on. So I macam maybe dia orang tak tidur lagi. So I took my phone apa semua. I pergi ketuk pintu sebelah. But tak ada siapa buka. Dia orang dah tidur. Semua dah tidur. So the only way is for me to contact whoever dekat dalam group production tu, siapa yang tak tidur lagi, help. Because I don't know what is going on.
Okay.
I sorang-sorang kat luar. And then I keluar daripada bilik tu, I selak yang hotel punya bilik punya tu. The
lock tu.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that I can go inside the room again. So bila I masuk balik bilik tu, trying to figure out what's happening, I nampak dia masih tengah macam tu. And I took whatever that I perlukan. And masa I tengah ambil barang tu, tiba-tiba sebab sebelah katil dia tu ada tingkap tau.
Highlight by
Tingkap
Charlie.
dengan langsir. Sebab sebelah katil dia tu ada tingkap tau.
Highlight by
Tingkap
Charlie.
dengan langsir. Sebelah dia memang dah tingkap dengan langsir. Tiba-tiba ada macam burung yang terbang, burung yang buta, dia just terbang blindly and dia bang langgar tingkap tu.
But tapi curtain drawn.
Curtain run.
How do you know it's burung?
It sounds like that.
It sounds like a bird eating
it
the
sounds
window
like,
lah.
Macam just bang. And me and him dua-dua just automatically pandang lah dekat window tu. But I didn't see anything.
Wait, so dia daripada tengah lepas tu dia
Yeah,
Okay, jap, quick question. Why, instead of asking him what the hell is happening, why did you go out the room?
Because I nak panggil co-host dekat bilik sebelah.
Oh, you want to get help lah.
Yeah. Because I text in a group, apparently no one replied masa tu. So bila kita dua-dua dah pandang dekat tingkap tu, dia makin takut. Dia macam nampak something and I was clueless. I tak tahu apa yang dia nampak.
You tak buka alat langsir, tak curious. You're not that curious.
So by the time benda tu jadi, tiba-tiba director reply. Dia cakap, oh, I tengah meeting tadi dekat bawah. What happened? So I call her. Director was Chinese. So I cakap kat dia, macam ni. Director, malam tu dia share room dengan makeup artist. Makeup artist is lelaki Chinese also. So masa tu dia cakap, you naik lah tingkat 5 because I tingkat 3. So I tak berani nak naik lift after what happened. So I naik tangga, but without me knowing, tangga dia lagi seram.
Yes.
Gelap sangat-sangat. So
You like gelap, don't you?
Not when he's
For sleeping,
awake.
not walking.
Not when he's awake.
Ibu. So bila sampai bilik makeup artist tu, dia orang cakap, okay, let's go down and check on your PA lah, because takkan biar dia sorang-sorang dalam bilik.
Yeah, man.
Kesian juga. So I macam turun dengan dia. I turun. So bila dia orang nak buka pintu, I macam nampak pintu tu tak boleh buka walaupun benda tu selak je. Like I nampak director macam cakap, makeup artist, can you help to open the door?
Takut semua.
No, because dia tolak, pintu tu tak boleh buka. Macam ada someone halang.
Tahan.
Pardon me.
Tahan.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah. So makeup artist tu
Terawal
like
sikit.
2 orang tolak baru pintu tu boleh buka. So that night bila dah masuk kat dalam, my PA magically jadi macam himself again.
Sekejap, pintu tak boleh tolak tapi dia selak tu kan?
Exactly.
Tapi mesti tak boleh.
Maksudnya ada orang tahan lah. Orang sandar kat situ.
Yeah. So bila masuk, my PA macam, kenapa ni? Oh, yeah, everything was fine. Yeah. What's wrong? So we tak nak prolong the conversation because tomorrow early call time. So the director decided that I tidur dengan diorang malam tu. So I tidur dengan makeup artist on the same bed. But that night, I kept hearing orang jerit dekat telinga I because it sounded like that.
bukan residue of him screaming.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe also. Tapi
yang
yeah, sampai makeup artist had to open like macam spa music and put his phone beside my ear. Because I cannot sleep. Every time I tidur, I terkejut dan I bangun again. So the next day, masa breakfast, I brought this conversation to the table with the crew and everyone. The director separated me from my PA. Dia tak nak bagi kita orang ada conversation about what happened last night at all. Because dia tak nak affect my mood for shooting. So, the director came to me and dia cakap, I have something to share with you, but after kita dah wrap semua dia cakap macam tu. So apparently after the shooting is done, the director cakap kat I, apa yang I cerita malam tu dengan apa yang PA I cerita malam tu adalah kisah yang berbeza. So apa yang I cerita adalah apa yang I cerita tadi, but my PA side of story adalah dia yang dengar I jerit dulu, sebab tu dia jerit.
Oh, wow.
And bila dia pandang depan, dia tak boleh nak switch his vision ke mana-mana because there is one nenek tengah stare dekat dia dekat depan.
Sorry, ni my reaction. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the tingkap is the nenek dekat sebelah dia and actually look. Actually look. Daripada atas macam ni. And actually look. Daripada atas macam ni.
This is a very good movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So scary.
Creepy. Nenek is always creepy.
Yeah. And after that, what happened was I sent him back to KL. I cakap, it's okay. You work sampai sini je, I'll pay you whatever that you work for me. Let me just be with myself. So yeah. So after that, I tidur dengan crew, I tidur dengan cameraman, soundman. And eventually I dah okay lah lepas tu.
Kesian dia. It's the nenek's fault. Dia kena buang.
Tak, tapi dia ada buat apa-apa kan yang menyebabkan benda tu menjelma.
I think bila I fikir balik, dia balik, dia tak basuh kaki, dia terus naik katil tidur.
Okay. I don't know about cuci kaki. Korang masuk bilik bagi salam tak?
Bagi, I mesti bagi.
Dia bagi tak?
Okay, lepas saya bagi.
Bagi di sini.
Maybe kita beraktiviti di luar, kita pun tak bersih. That's why balik you have to shower. Actually, you know, kalau ada anasi mengikut ni pun, you shower, you clean yourself lah basically.
So like physical and spiritual
cleansing. Spiritually is like you take wuduk, you know, you pray, benda macam tu. But actually syaitan memang suka benda kotor pun.
Bila kita kotor, maknanya kita dengan syaitan. Syaitan dia suka dengan kotor. Satu orang Islam ni orang yang hidup dalam keadaan sentiasa jaga kebersihan. Jangan kita ni biarkan diri kita dalam keadaan kotor. Badan kita kotor.
Wow,
So,
creepy. I love it.
Next one.
Kak Wawan.
I appoint. Tak, okay, mine I think other than apart from what I dah cerita dengan you guys dalam channel semua tu, the rest are situations yang saya cakap tadi lah. Either I'm oblivious ataupun I dodged a bullet. It happened macam I'm not there tapi that it happened. Or situation where it happened time tu still oblivious but it was really, I was like macam kata apa, in the eye of the storm. But I had no idea. And benda ni I found out I think after 20 years. Apa tu, quite a while ago ada show, kita ada program kat KL. So lepas tu tiba-tiba yalah, got together, suddenly terjumpalah rakan-rakan kru zaman-zaman dulu lah, apa tu, masa tengah aktif dulu. So bila jumpa, diorang cerita balik, dia kata, wah, you ingat tak masa tour for ABP? Ni dah 20 years after tau. Kita kat backstage. So dia kata masa tu ABP, so kita pergi ramai-ramai reminiscing lah balik. Tapi dia kata, tapi one night, oh my god, kau memang tak sedar, kau memang saja-saja ni. So I was like, saya saja buat apa? What did I do? Dia kata, you didn't remember? Remember what? So dia kata, I can't remember sama ada ni dekat Gambang ataupun kat Karak, Pointer Highway. So dia kata on the way balik daripada ABP tour, so dia kata tengah convoy. So I was dalam one of the cars kat depan tu, apa MPV, apa yang banyak dalam tu, ramai lah bukan kan macam tu.
MPV lah.
Diorang pun belakang-belakang semualah. And diorang kata they call me, rupanya I had no idea, again after 20 years baru I dapat tahu, they call me Miss 7-Eleven. Sebab dia kata because you selalu pergi mana-mana mesti stop 7-Eleven, then you keluar banyak plastik. Lepas tu masuk kereta, siapa nak apa? Siapa I beli ni. So, jadi the same thing happen. Tak apalah. Point dia, tengah drive balik malam tu, biasalah bila tour untuk promote ABP ni kan, dia seluruh Malaysia kan jalan-jalan. Pagi sampai ke malam, sana-sini. And then dia kata, tapi dekat that particular highway, suddenly, kita orang semua nampak ada something, kata white, putih terbang ke atas from cars to cars. Dah panjang convoy kan, dia terbang zoom. So kita orang dah macam, Allah apa ni. And then masing-masing dah baca-baca kata dia. So our car kat depan, macam my car kat depan lah, dia kat belakang semua tengok. Dia kata, and then tiba-tiba that thing dia terbang-terbang dan dia hinggap atas your car. Dia terus tinggi di atas tu, cangkung. Then your car stop. Dia kata lepas tu semua stop. Kita pun dah berhenti. Nobody got out of the car except you.
Except me 7-Eleven.
Dah pergi 7-Eleven ke?
Tak. I can't remember what. Dia kata tapi that's in the middle of highway. Gelap. So I pula jenis, I can't remember what really happened. But I know for sure, every time kalau berhenti, memang I always start macam, yelah you dah kematu kan. And then macam dia katakan, you're introvert dalam spektrum macam mana you nak get away. So macam I macam dah ramai-ramai dalam tu, bila berhenti tak sabar nak keluar. Nak keluar. So bila diorang selalu bila berhenti, I always macam, okay jom kita turun kot, pergi turun mana-mana ke apa ke, berhenti nak ke toilet ke apa, tak kisahlah. And I didn't care highway tu gelap ke highway ke apa, I didn't care. Turun means turun kan. Turun is turun. So dia kata kita kat dalam kereta, suddenly pintu tu buka. Dalam tu ramai, tapi you seorang, you turun betul-betul kat pintu tu, that thing betul-betul atas kepala you. Tengah ngadap like that. And kita dalam kereta, kenapa kau keluar wai? Dah masuk. It was like macam screaming in the car, but of course you can't hear. So you kat luar macam, and I think you keluar macam, kenapa kita berhenti
Very innocent, tanya-tanya.
Masa berhenti. But then, tapi tak habis cerita, they ended there. Well, one thing for sure, Alhamdulillah, I think I selamat lah kan. Tada. But, tapi, point dia tu lah, dia kata, you orang lain, itulah, you went down, that thing was betul tak kepala you yang tengah, like that. I guess, well, I selamat. So, I tak tahu apa jadi lepas tu. But, that was it lah.
But nothing happened to you lah. You don't feel anything.
Tada.
Kan seramnya for other people lah.
For other people. And I cakap dengan orang, I'm glad you beritahu 20 tahun after. Because I think kalau time tu kau beritahu, aku mati kejung kat situ kot. I think kot. Kalau bila pusing je, wah masuk balik atas kepala kau.
No, you will take time to process. What?
Maybe kot. How's that? Kenapa kita berhenti? Atas kepala kat mana?
By the time you get it, orang tu, dia tu pun dah pergi dah.
But are you jenis yang macam penakut or quite berani?
I don't know.
Quite berani, I
think,
would say.
Apa yang penakut?
You know what? Hari-hari before tidur, apa dia akan tengok? Either kisah hantu atau true crime story. She's a very morbid person actually.
But to be fair, those kind of podcast, the voice very nice to sleep. So I understand.
No, she just like the stories.
Yeah, actually yeah.
Yeah.
Horror movies pun it makes, horror movies actually put you to sleep.
Yeah.
Maybe because dia punya ambience, dia punya, I don't know, the creepiness.
These are horror stories lah.
Horror stories. I mean, my stories pun like you listen religiously. The first time she came here, she was like, "Oh, this is the crime area of the story you
crime
told."
Scene.
The crime scene.
Dia bangga cakap dengan Akil. Dia. Crime scene. Do you know where? Masa tengok video ni kan kat sini.
She can point like, oh, cerita ni kat sini, cerita ni. You know, those kind of thing lah.
Banyak-banyak cerita dia. I love the story masa dia kata, masa tu dalam Spotify. Yalah, tapi you solo. You seorang.
Uncle Solo.
Uncle Solo. And dia kata dia tengah bercerita, tengah type story. Yang ada bloody hand kat,
oh tu my mom ada kat rumah masa tu.
Dia kata kan bloody hand kat situ. Tiba-tiba you cakap ada bloody hand dekat the sliding door je. Oh, I love that part.
Love keyword dia love
the creepiness. Tapi
kita tak love lah.
Tapi I cakap maybe kau daripada aku pengsan kot. Tapi tak tahulah so far. Although I cakap dengan diorang, kadang I mimpi, I cakap dengan orang, I kata my favourite hantu, Ustaz jangan bang saya. Just for fun. Tapi I cakap my favourite I cakap my favourite hantu is pocong. Sebab I cakap dia nampak kemas.
Insert clip. I will insert the clip.
Apa ada story?
Tempat rehearsal kita hari tu.
Oh yes. Dia buka pintu. Dia buka pintu. Oh my god. But yeah, as much as I love them, I wouldn't want to be in the room with them. Kan? Tapi I cakap lah dengan diorang, kata dalam mimpi, I always mimpi mesti ada pocong. And dalam mimpi tu, I boleh sedar that, jangan kau dah cakap macam kau suka pocong, lepas tu kau nak penakut. Jangan, sure berani kau pasal ayat kursi and halau diorang. That's in my dream lah. But, tak tahu kalau in real life might do that ke, apa inside ke, I don't know lah.
But I think it's very normal bila benda tu jadi kat kita. Time tu kita takkan rasa,
tak tahu nak buat apa.
Kita tak rasa takut sangat. Until bila kita flashback, beraninya aku masa tu.
Time tu maybe kot. But, okay, although there were moments growing up, and macam situation macam kita punya rumah time tu, it was rather creepy lah tempat dia. I jenis orang yang bila you nampak something kat luar rumah dalam gelap, kadang rumah tu katalah blackout, semua gelap kan. But if you see something moving kat luar, I jenis yang memang, I would go closer just to see what is that exactly, sampai I can really see what you are.
So I think Nel, your next story kan yang ni mati dulu, yang ni selamat. So common sense dia banyak sikit.
But tak tahulah, maybe my father pun cakap I'm morbid, I don't know.
Kalau orang kata, oh, I listen to your podcast to sleep, what does it mean?
This is not insulting, by the way.
I would take it as like therapeutic
Yes.
Take it positively.
Podcast kau bosan gila membantu aku tidur.
No, very therapeutic. The bloody hand really helped.
Okay, back.
Wow. Okay, untuk pengetahuan pendengar, Lina actually live my life. She actually like live and work in Japan for how many years? 6 years?
5 years.
5 years, yeah, you live my life. So sekarang kita nak dengar cerita daripada Lina. Tak tahu nak cerita dari Malaysia atau dekat Japan.
Okay, dua-dua ada.
Okay.
I'll start with the least scary one for me, and then
wow, ada level
Ada at least for me lah. Maybe orang lain macam apa tu, tapi for me ada level.
Ada hantu Jepun lah.
Ada hantu Melayu di Jepun. Okay, so the story is I think that was during one of my depressive episode, because I do have mental health struggles, backstory. And there was a few months in Japan that I was in between job, and my last job let me go dengan cara yang sangat tak baik lah. Okay, so I memang depressed, lepas tu tak ada kerja semua kan, banyak kerisauan. Basically my days is just makan tidur. Kadang tak makan, tidur bangun, okay, tidur balik. So basically during this time, what I remember is I bangun tidur, but daylight kan, so you can see the light and everything. But it's also macam apa?
In Japan ke in Malaysia?
In Japan. This is in Japan. So I was living in my own like studio apartment that time. So katil, dapur semua sekaligus lah. And then I bangun tapi sleep paralysis kan, tak boleh gerak, but you have the awareness, right? So I was like, oh, so this is sleep paralysis, interesting. Otak berjalan macam tu, kat ada commentary. Then I felt as if there is a pressure on my leg. Cuba bayangkan kita tidur meniarap, and then ada orang datang bawa macam baju banyak campak kat kaki kita. So you feel like a big thing, but also the pressure tak terlalu berat lah. So that's like, aku ada kawan datang ke? Because behind me is where I really hang my laundry. Laundry jatuh ke? Tapi sekali banyak, macam banyak commentary kan. And then after that pressure, I felt as if there's someone above me. And then dekat bantal I, kiri kanan macam ada tangan, ada pressure di tepi tu. So I was like, oh, so this is how I'm going to die. Okay, like whatever lah. Depressed kan? Macam lantak lah, mati-mati lah.
Okay.
Tak ada.
Oh, itu depressed. Okay,
so
I
I'm going to
understand.
die. Okay, whatever lah. Then tertidur balik.
Lepas tu tidur balik?
Yes. Itu macam
Speechless attitude.
Maksudnya ini memang fasa you bed rotting gila-gila.
Yes. So the most I did, I remember masa tu, I ada main satu game ni. At one point, like first or second day play the game, because they will always reset weekly. They say, oh, you have reached your weekly points in like 1-2 day. So that's how much I bed rot. And even tak makan pun tak apa. Macam, kalau makan, because for normal or healthy brain, you think of it is like one action. Aku bangun, aku buat kopi, contohnya. For an unhealthy brain, is quite splintered. Aku kena bangun, lepas tu aku kena gerakkan badan, lepas tu kena turun ke lantai. It's like too many things to do. So sometimes tak payah makan lah. And also, nak makan kena ada makanan, which is sometimes pantry kosong, nak kena pergi kedai, banyak kerja, tak payahlah tak makan.
So you dah berlatih jadi jenazah awal-awal lah. Betul.
In a way, yes. So,
Jarang I nak puji ayat you, tapi ini memang chef kiss.
Tak nak bangun. Tapi itulah antara condition bila orang dah depressed. Dia memang shut the world terus kan. Macam tu.
Sekejap, so mana yang scary? Yang scary pasal depressed tu?
Tadi ada benda berapa. Tapi less scary yang tu.
Itu for me is normal. Atau tak takut sangat lah, sebab
Itu level 1.
Sebab also I think that's an interesting thing. My depressive brain was helpful. Pasal dia macam nak takut, malas lah. Nak gerak, malas lah. Tidur je lah.
Itu daytime or night time?
Daytime. Because it was quite bright around. Unless I was dreaming it. But it's like the sleep paralysis lah. You are aware but your body tak gerak sangat. So I think that time maybe my mata buka sikit kot. Not enough to see around. But enough to realise like, okay, I'm still in my room, in my house, that kind of thing. Also not enough to see the hand or whatever thing beside my pillow.
You just felt lah.
Yeah, dia punya feeling lagi kuat.
Wait, just a question. Is it good to tidur meniarap?
Not
I
good.
dengar tak bagus.
Not good. Because somehow dulu I tidur meniarap banyak sebab I ada asma. And then masa I COVID dulu, sebab orang ada asma, COVID dia teruk tau. So actually the doctor cakap to legakan sikit you tidur meniarap. Tapi lepas tu dah jadi habit. Bila dah jadi habit, you akan rasa macam ada muscle pain dekat dada you. So for health reason pun janganlah. After that I dah biasakan balik tidur
Tak meniarap.
Tidur tak meniarap. Susah lah tapi Alhamdulillah dah biasakan balik. So yeah, not good.
So for my Japanese side, it's just that personal story. But one thing that I do observe in Japan, kalau lalu dekat punya kubur-kubur, tenang. So kita kan kalau kat Malaysia kan macam, alamak takut ada benda ke apa kan. Tapi kat sana macam, oh this is just another place. Macam, like okay, side story. I jenis yang suka grocery shopping malam. So kadang-kadang tengah malam tu kan, okay matahari turun, kita naik, okay nak buat tom yum lah, buat apa-apa. Oh tak cukup barang. Okay keluar. Naik basikal ke jalan kaki kan.
Untunglah sebab Japan is very safe kan.
It's very safe, true. So I remember in one of that place, I keluar malam macam biasa, pergi Aeon or something yang 24 hours nak beli barang.
Oh, Aeon kat sana 24 hours
Ada yang 24, ada yang biasa-biasa
punya. But you were living like bukan in the city kan?
First tu was city. So Osaka setahun, Tokyo setahun setengah plus minus, and then I moved to the countryside Tokushima for 2 years. So I forgot which city this is. But yeah, so tengah malam tu I lalu some place. I was like, apa benda ni? Okay, nanti siang nanti kita tengok. Sebab in that last school last job also, one of my job is also to be macam makcik bus. Pagi-pagi naik bus kan, kita budak-budak kan. So I will always pass by certain areas. So I was like, okay, tempat ni bus lalu, nanti kita tengok benda tempat ni kan. Because my brain was like, oh, this is dark and interesting, but also peaceful. So pergi kedai, balik rumah. I think the next 2 or 3 days naik bus like, oh, ini kubur. Okay, but peaceful. And my friend from, I think she's from Jamaica also said the same thing. Like in her own country, cemeteries, benda macam ni menakutkan. Tapi kat Jepun sangat peaceful. So, Nell seems to agree.
Yes, because I like, when I was in Japan juga hari-hari, for that 1 week, I ulang-alik this one jalan tau, hari-hari, malam.
Okay.
Because I memang, yelah sebab kita Malaysia ni kan sangat tak safe kalau jalan malam. So bila pergi Japan, pergi Singapore, I memang suka keluar malam jalan. And then I pass, dah hari last I dekat situ, baru I decided to see what's behind this wall. Sebab kubur Jepun kan tinggi-tinggi kan. Lah kubur rupanya. Tapi every time I lalu situ peaceful.
Okay.
Apparently my parents took their wedding photos dekat perkuburan.
Oh, what?
Di mana?
Christian punya.
Oh,
Yeah, because apparently dulu diorang cakap semua yang ambil gambar kat situ macam ada filter. Dulu kan mana ada filter kan. Tapi bila dah
jadi
keluar
cantik
gambar
terus.
tu jadi macam HD cantik and tak tahu macam mana nak describe, but it's just beautiful the picture.
Lain macam
It's like supernatural filter built in something.
This is perkuburan in Penang.
Penang, yeah.
Which perkuburan is this? Is it the one yang dekat
Nak pergilah tu.
Dekat dengan Shell, dekat dengan
the old
yeah,
country there?
Pokok-pokok dia macam
Yeah,
very
okay,
Wednesday
yes.
vibe.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
I know that
nak
great.
pergi.
Yes.
Okay.
So Lina,
Betul?
apa nak escalate tadi cerita.
Oh, that's level 1. Okay. Next level dah balik Malaysia. This one I'm not sure whether I came back for good or this is one of my summer break kan, balik seminggu 2 macam tu. But I know this is in my bedroom in my parents' house lah. So actually sedikit katakan cerita korang juga, just sedikit. Tidur, tak ingat mimpi apa, tapi hujung-hujung tu seram sikit sebab bayangkan kita dalam bilik macam ni kan, gelap. Bayangkan situ pintu, so dia terbuka, ada cahaya dari luar dan ada figura di situ. So in my mind it was like devil or something lah. The me in the sleep was trying, as usual kan kita nak baca ayat-ayat kan, baca Fatihah ke Ayat Kursi kita boleh. I was reading that and that thing was laughing back at me. So I was like, the thing that's supposed to be your weapon, dia macam buat gelak je kan. Memang,
That's why I prefer cat videos.
but this is in a dream, tak ada pilihan.
Tak ada pilihan.
Yeah. So itu okay, part 1 yang seram. Sambil tengah takut-takut tu kan, dia gelak-gelak tu, and then macam menganjing jugalah. I don't know whether it was speaking or not. But my impression was, lah itu je yang kau boleh effort. Itu je yang kau boleh cuba. Ataupun something along the line of, you're supposed to do that, tapi bacaan kau pun tak betul. So ada feeling macam, to me lah, there's a feeling of guilt and shame a little bit in that dream.
Because you don't even understand what you read.
Yes,
right?
True. That part. So we just thought, aku ada benda ni, aku guna je. Tapi tak efficient. Bangun tu memang I menggigil dekat atas katil. Sambil menggigil tu, satu tangan cuba ambil phone, pasang naik kursi. Satu tangan cuba nak tarik selimut kan, macam takut kan. Because I'm still scared lah. And while I was doing that, I can feel some kind of pressure behind me. Macam bantal panjang atau benda favorite kat bawah tu macam kat belakang.
Favorite kat bawah.
So I was like, daripada mimpi datang keluar ke? So I was like, kita just pasang dan kita tutup. Dan kalau kita tidur lah. And somehow, I don't know, I fell asleep or I passed out. Tapi
I felt that I passed out.
because it was really, really scary. Because I think one is your mind. Second is the thing. And then you feel like you're not in control of your own body, your own breathing. You're very overwhelmed lah. Feeling out of control. So with all that feeling together, mungkin lah pengsan ke tidur ke apa kan. And then bangun, Alhamdulillah tak ada benda lah kat belakang. So I think this is one of the few times I actually have the common sense. Because in my next story, I macam nak tengok. This one tak pusing. Dia mesti selamat. Ini level kedua lah.
Ada lagi tinggi?
Ada. Okay. So because this one is dua sebab dalam mimpi dan luar mimpi kan. Dia macam datang.
Umpama mimpi dalam mimpi. Lagu
No, tadi Overwhelming, lagu Mir. Mir ada lagu tajuk Overwhelming. Okay, insert.
Nanti insert.
Apa lagu tadi yang One I Believe? Apa lagu tu?
I'm done hiding, shining like I'm born to be.
We're dreaming hard, we came so far, now I
Believe.
So take it away.
We're
Going up, up, up.
I'm done hiding, shining like I'm born to be. We're dreaming hard, we came so far, now I believe. Come on, we're going up, 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 is that a moment? Wow.
Part ni, but this is my favourite part actually in the whole theatre.
Itu favourite part kau. Aku sedih lah.
Punyalah banyak Itu favourite part.
You know, personal taste is different for people.
Okay, what's the scariest
Okay.
top tier?
Okay, so this one is, I guess, the most recent lah sebab dah balik daripada Jepun, which is 2021 for me. Okay, so let's set the stage first. In my bedroom,
Dia benci.
ada katil tau dekat yang tepi dinding menghala ke tingkap. So, dia punya headboard tu, kalau kita tidur, kepala kita belakang tu tingkap lah kan. Dan kaki ke dalam, nampak lah almari. Ni
That's
pintu.
exactly what my room is.
Oopsie.
That's exactly what?
My room.
Oh.
Okay, but for me, in that room, I like to sleep in the opposite. Kaki menghala tingkap, kepala kat tengah, sebab itu panas. So, tengah-tengah tu lah kipas paling direct kan.
Kaki
Talking about my room.
Are you sleeping the same room as me? Oh, good luck.
But this is in Gombak?
Yes, in my parents' house in Malaysia, in Gombak.
So kaki kat belah kepala.
Kaki menghadap tingkap, ya.
Tingkap. So maknanya kepala you menghadap tingkap lah.
Yes, so memang I tidur, buka tingkap untuk angin kan, tambahan, buka langsir semua.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Now I know, back then I didn't know. And this is also before I did my LASIK. So mata memang sangat blur-blur.
Oh,
sangat
now you
raba.
have LASIK? Oh,
Yeah, dulu -7, 800.
Can
memang.
you sponsor me?
-7,800.
Yeah, sangat. So unless the thing is in front here, I see almost nothing. Everything is just a blob.
Oh wow.
Okay, siapa yang tengah dengar ni buat LASIK, tolong contact kita.
Ya, betul. Siapa nak sponsor kita?
Yeah, sponsor us please.
Boleh. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the stage lah. Okay, and then also the view outside, sebab rumah terrace kan, nampak rumah belakang. So my view is always rumah belakang, and then my room is on the second floor. Nampak bumbung sikit, kadang-kadang nampak tingkap sikit ke, bulan sikit ke, adalah sedikit-sikit benda kan. And outside the room ada tiang elektrik, then ada wayar kan bersambung-sambung tu, but also satu wayar ke bumi macam diagonal sikit. So it's a bit like a triangle. Tiang, wayar, lepas tu tanah bawah tu. So that's my view, tengah-tengah berangan, tidur-tidur semua tu kan. I saw something, maybe animal, maybe not, kind of floating up dan singgah dekat wayar tu. So my brain was like,
What kind of animal?
that's why my brain was thinking, burung apa yang fly slow motion macam tu? Sebab dia bukan macam terbang dan hinggap. Dia macam, hinggap. And the way I can describe it is like dia macam ada badan atau kepala macam lebih kurang saiz ini, and then ada benda-benda macam menjalo, macam tak tahu like I don't know
What
something
innards?
lah. Macam ekor ke apa? Macam tu kan. Mungkin lah.
Cleaner.
So I was like, okay, ni mungkin tupai tapi ekor dia terikat dengan benang ke, dengan tali ke apa kan. Because a lot lah, bukan satu je ekor.
So
Yeah, so I was like, okay, what binatang apa ni? Dan binatang apa yang boleh fly slow motion? So while my brain is trying to do that thing tengah hinggap je lah dekat situ. So I was thinking, okay, mungkin binatang, tapi aku tak rasa binatang boleh fly slow motion. Nak kata berangin, aku tak rasa angin. So like, how do you do the slow motion thing? While I was thinking about that thing continue flying or rather floating, like terbang ke bumbung masa sebelah. And this is where I like my common sense. I was like, oh, let's see what it is. Sebab dia dah hinggap, mesti lagi dekat kan dengan kita yang rabo ni.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether I did wear my specs or not that time. But also my windows ada safety grill. So I cannot put my whole head out lah, just sikit je kan.
Thank God.
Yeah. So what I did see, I didn't see the whole thing because like the main body ke kepala dia macam dah atas bumbung sebelah. Cuma nampak ekor atau benda-benda yang menjala tu je lah dekat.
Is it a penanggal?
I was thinking that dekat tadi innards.
Yeah. I was thinking actually at one point I was thinking ada orang tengah mengandung ke dekat taman ni kan, because I think that's the story behind it, right? If we look for pregnant woman or something.
Dia punya folklore. Okay.
Yeah. So while I was looking at that tali ke ekor tu, dia macam I got the impression the body or the head is slowly scooting forward. Sebab ekor tu macam piup naik ke atas bumbung. And then maybe I don't know. And now finally my common sense kick in, like, hey, what if that is a supernatural thing? Lepas tu dia terbang ke muka aku.
Yes.
So like, okay, you know what? No. Kita tutup tingkap dengan spek, panggil pakai spek. And I was like, okay, I don't want to be in this room. Turun bawah, pergi dapur. Kan, just like to really think like, is it an animal fly slow motion? Is it that thing? Whatever lah. Dekat dapur tu kebetulan my sister pun turun sebab dia budak uni kan, tidur suka hati. This is like 2-3 in the morning I think.
But also not a good idea to go to dapur.
I don't know why. It makes sense in my brain. And also
Yeah.
my room and dapur paling jauh. Dari bilik belakang kan, kena turun keluar.
Yeah.
But it makes sense in my brain that time.
Why is it not good idea go dapur?
Because it's usually the farthest area in your house. You know?
It is.
And yeah. And I won't go to dapur because you know dapur selalunya dekat belakang.
Betul.
You know.
Dapur tempat kita buang sampah. Makanan.
Okay, that part my common sense tak kick in lah. Just like, okay, aku nak cahaya, maybe aku nak minum kot, something like that. That's why go to dapur. And then kebetulan my sister turun, I cerita lah, tadi kan kakak nampak ni tau. And then this is the interesting part where I will say my sister is more mature than me because mulut dia cakap lain tapi muka dia ada subtitle. So mulut dia cakap, oh ya ke? Tak bestnya. Jom kita tidur lah. Jangan buat benda-benda kan malam ni. Tapi muka dia, at least to me lah, the subtitle is, kenapa kakak aku macam ni? Ya Allah, janganlah cerita tengah malam ni, boleh tak? More common sense than me. So basically we just naik atas, tidur lah. But bilik lain-lain. My room is the back room. Bilik dia kat tengah, tak ada tingkap. So dia selamat. Yeah, I think that's when I masuk bilik macam, nak masuk. Okay lah, masuk. Tutup langsir. I'm not sure whether I pasang apa-apa ke tidak, but mostly again pass out. I think this is another depressive episode lah, macam nak tidur je kerja dia. So for me that's the scariest because if it is a thing, boleh bayangkan tak masa dia dekat wayar tu, mungkin dia tenung kita, kita tenung balik. And it was like, budak ni kenapa?
Tapi tak nampak apa?
Tak, I tak nampak. So but I don't know it knows or not. But kita mungkin ada eye contact ke apa, tak tahulah. Because I'm not someone with like sixth sense ke apa. Memang sangat kosong. So actually when I was younger, I really want the sixth sense. Because I like this thing. And I have a teacher yang dia kata, okay, cikgu boleh ajar. But dia punya warning, I taught someone before yang minta juga macam you. Dan dia menyesal. Sebab once buka, tak boleh tutup balik. So you think first. Okay, Ibu Helena kan think first. And then come back to me. It's like, okay, think first, tak payahlah. Because I like opening and closing. I like control. So the idea of just open macam tak best lah, tak apalah. Gitu.
Cikgu apa ni?
Cikgu kimia.
Cikgu kimia ajar buka hijab. Dia sekolah mana ni?
Macam mana cikgu kau boleh tahu benda macam ni?
I don't know, but maybe she's just very knowledgeable about things.
Okay, tak macam mana soalan tu boleh keluar pada mulut kau?
Macam kan after class kita bersama dengan cikgu macam tu kan. Mungkin terkeluarlah cerita-cerita seram ke apa. And then I was like mulut macam tak ada no common sense kan. Oh
Cikgu
saya nak tengok lah benda macam ni. Cikgu pun cakap lah, saya nak bukakan tapi
Ya cikgu kimia kau.
mungkin tak kan. Tapi dia nak menghalang kita daripada buat benda-benda yang mungkin menyesal. Dia bagi tahu macam tu. Mungkin lah.
But then again, maybe kimia, alchemy,
Yeah.
kan, kan,
Yeah.
cauldron, whatever, kan. I'm not saying that she's a witch, but basically
Sebab
that, kan.
sometimes yelah kita ada mutual friend yang explain pasal frekuensi alam. This thing is actually on a different frequency, but sometimes frekuensi kita beroverlap. Sometimes kita termasuk ataupun dia termasuk dalam frekuensi kita. So sometimes like dia ada more explanation lah yang I tak reti nak explain. So he's like, how do we describe him that friend?
Describe him.
He can explain about meta things better lah than
Itu
me.
metaphysics
lah. So yeah, but as far as I know, this thing kan actually dia feed on our fear tau. Lagi kita takut lagi dia ni. That's why the mind is a very powerful thing. You have to divert your mind. Jangan takutlah kepada benda
Betul.
ni.
Tapi dalam kita nak divert mind kita, jangan takut ni. Sekarang dah dekat pukul 1 ni.
Yeah.
Jadi aku rasa macam yes, thank you very much for sharing all your stories. I personally enjoyed the stories.
And all of you are eloquent lah. Kita dapat semua guest yang eloquent.
Alhamdulillah.
Sebelum we end this, actually I nak tanya you. Okay, because kita semua dah cerita kan, and you sendiri cakap, dah ramai tahu cerita-cerita you dekat online.
Bersepah dah.
Yeah, but I want to know sepanjang kita practice ni,
Alamak.
ada tak you rasa or nampak apa?
Sekejap, kalau dia jawab, will you come back for practice tomorrow?
I promise.
Okay.
Kau director kau pun cakap lepas habis kan. Kenapa kau minta benda ni sekarang?
Of course, actually cerita-cerita Angka ni macam siapa yang mengikuti, sebenarnya I dah tak nak buat. Sebab I actually nak tukar my branding. I tak nak dikenali sebagai cerita seram lah. Like I gave mere analogy, like he was known by Opa Malaysia. You didn't like it, but somehow the label somehow work for you. So dia macam I juga, I try nak tukar. Tapi of course lah benda ni laki sendiri asyik minta, yang buatlah cerita tu. Yang ni pun sama.
Itu semua basically.
So of course macam since kalau dah macam tu, I kena simpan, kena jadikan dia eksklusif lah. So kita akan cerita di pentas KL Pop Fest. Dan kita akan bawakan seorang lagi, the second Uncle Sister, the original Uncle Sister, yang cerita dia lagi powerful lah daripada I.
Kita tengah duduk dekat bilik. Tengah buat pergi sekolah. Tiba-tiba ada orang main cakap, kan perlu rumah sudah belum lah. Dia main macam ni. Tapi rupa bentuk dia adalah macam sebelah, macam budak pakai topi. Aku yang ingat sebab ni first aku encounter benda alam ni lah. So sebelah macam pakai topi, sebelah lagi macam view dia panjang gitu. Lepas tu macam dia ada main. Kita ikut ada main.
Tapi anyway, kalau korang tengok benda ni dekat YouTube, jangan lupa follow, subscribe, like video ni. Dan jangan lupa kalau korang ada benda korang nak cakap, korang dengar cerita-cerita ni, korang suka, korang tak suka, apa benda yang korang nak cakap, komen dekat bawah. Dan kalau korang tengah mendengar benda ni dekat Spotify, jangan lupa rate kami 5 bintang supaya kami dapat memanjat tangga ke pintu syurga.
Okay, dengan itu talk to you later. Bye. 1-4 minit guys. Good luck.